sixth mass rate extinction, So this is due to for ourselves as a human. So I really like to delve and to comprehend this issue for our discussion tonight. Okay, let's start with it. Okay, the first one is, what is mass extinction? Well, actually, uh, throughout Earth's history, our life has undergone five mass extinctions. For each has wiped out a vast number of species due to of what? Due to of natural disaster. For example, like asteroid impact or massive volcano eruption or just like extreme climate change or shift and many things. But yet, in a simple word, this event has occurred where at least 75% of Earth species disappear within a relatively short geological period. So just only in a very, very short time, many surface has has vanished due to from various detrimental effects, according to this mass extinction. So what about the history? Well, actually, the Earth or our Earth has affected or has experienced some major mass extinction over the past 500 million years. So let's continue our slideshow. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Here are the five major mass extinctions. I believe that everyone or for each of us has learned from our school and we already have been taught from our curriculum. For example, like when we were in primary education, we already know that, oh, uh, actually, before the humans extinction, many mass extinction have occurred, especially about during the dinosaur area, about mass extinction among the period 60 and 60 million years ago, due to the asteroid impact. So it's only about one of the most prominent major mass extinctions. So let's start from the first one. The first one is Ordovician Silurian, but I'm sorry if I pronounce it wrong because I'm still learning, you know. So actually, this first mass extinction has wiped out more than 85% of marine species due to the climate change. But as long as I've known, well, on this period, the Earth is just only start to begin. The Earth is we're just only start its time, and unfortunately, due to the climate changes, due to the extreme shifts, many species or the species flora and fauna has vanished due to this issue. So this is the very first mass extinction. And the second is the Permian Triassic. Well, it is a bit unknown phenomena, but let's just try. I'm sorry, it's this third. Okay, the second one is the Devonian. The Devonian era, actually, it is all about the 75% of species has disappeared, likely due to oceanic oxygen depletion. So it means that many flora and fauna in ocean has vanished, has gone due to the depletion, due to the lack of oxygen at the time. So this is the second one. And the third one is the Permian Triassic. The Permian Triassic is the deadliest event. Really, it's more deadlier rather than the five or the last our mass extinction. So this Triassic Permian is the deadliest event. It killed more than 96% of marine life and 75% of land species. Oh, this is really has a very drawback effect. And the fourth is Triassic Jurassic, and it has wiped out more than 80% of species, making way for the dinosaurs. Now, this is a very one of the most famous famous phenomena from our curriculum who has been taught from our school. And the fact is the great Greta Thunberg. Now, it's all about an asteroid impact led to the extinction of the dinosaurs. I do remember that at the time, uh, I remember when I read about this phenomena. So around 60 million years ago, an asteroid, a very huge asteroid, at least uh, it's all about 10 kilometers of its wide, its wide the asteroid has effect and has hit the Earth's surface. So it dropped at the Yucatan Peninsula at the time. So it's located near the North American Gulf. So at the time, it was really has a very, very bad impact to the Earth. But at the end of the moment, not all the species of dinosaurs have suffered or have vanished due to this asteroid impact. Why? Because uh, many or there are still a minor or small species who have been survived from this tragedy. So if you talk about a great dinosaur like a Tyrannosaurus or just like a big animals at the time, they were gone. They just vanished because of what? Because they can't survive. They can try to look to look for from the shelter area, from the hitting from the asteroid impact or from the like a tsunami occurred at the time. So only the small vertebrates or only small surface or flora and fauna has survived from this era. So if you talk about like a bird or like a chicken or just like a recent fauna and flora, actually they were the ancestor. They were the ancestor of the recent era. Okay, for the next one, so I can I can handle it. Where have we gone? All right, and now are we in the sixth mass extinction? Well, I believe that all of you have already know that now we are facing the sixth mass extinction. As I've mentioned before, that the Earth actually has faced more than fifth great vanish or extinction. But as long as I'm concerned, due to the human effect, due to the human activities, we are fostering the Earth's global climate changes. Why? It's because from this one is the first is the special law. It's more than 100 to 1,000 times faster than natural rate. I do remember that when I was in primary education, when I was in my high school, I just read some books of encyclopedia, and it told me that actually many species have extinct naturally, but it's not thousand driven by the human, but just only the human has make a great changes, has made great change, especially from the period in the last 200 years. Well, too many species and too many species have occurred, have suffered from the great mass extinction, and they are facing the present. They are facing like, actually it's a natural way actually. Every species will disappear at a time. But due to the human activity, like we have developed our technology, and we already polluted to all the ocean, to air pollution and anything. It's just like make the extinction becomes faster and faster. So this is the means of the species loss, and the second is this extinction rate. It's over or more than 1 million species at risk of extinction. And the third is ecosystem. So more than 75% of terrestrial and 60% of marine ecosystems severely altered or transformed. So this is the evidence of the sixth mass extinction. Well, actually, the scientists they have gathered to overwhelm the evidence that the sixth mass extinction is already happening. So some of the most striking statistics include the first one is global wildlife. Well, the population has declined by an average of 96 69% since 1970. The second is IUCN Red List. It shows that more than 41% of amphibians, 27% of mammals, and 36% of sharks and rays threatened with extinction. And the third is vertebrate extinction. Over than 500 vertebrate species extinct in the last century. Okay, we'll continue and we'll make it faster. So this is the cause of the sixth extinction. The cause of the sixth extinction, we already know that the deforestation or, you know, cutting down trees rampantly. And how can I say about deforestation? Well, we already know that deforestation has a big impact towards the climate changes. In fact, Indonesia is one of the most countries who has the very, very wide and big natural forest, a primary forest in the world, just after Brazil, Congo, and the third one is Indonesia. But suddenly, but unfortunately, just in 25 years, Indonesia has lost more than around approximately 25 million acres of its natural forest. Due to of what? Due to the deforestation, of course. Not only about deforestation, but it's also about the wildlife and like many due to the human activities, it just makes it faster and faster towards the climate or the sixth extinction. And the second is industrialization. All right, this is very evident, and most of people already know about the industrialization wherever and whatever kind of it has a very significant change due to towards the sixth extinction. And the third one is the climate change. So it's all about the rising temperatures, habitat destruction, and also the increasing of the temperature. Oh, don't forget about the mention the overpopulation, overexploitation. It's all about hunting, overfishing, and illegal wildlife trade. It just make it worse and worse towards the climate change and the sixth mass extinction. Okay, so here is the impact or the effect of mass extinction in humans. The first one is habitat destruction. For example, like this one, we already know that Amazon rainforest is the first largest primary jungle or forest in the world. But just in 2023, I just read from the INPE. It's just like an article talking about this research and the forestry of the Brazil. So it says that the Amazon rainforest has lost more than 10,000 kilometers of its forest just only in 2023. If we compare to Indonesia and Congo, especially like in the Southeast Asia, this region, this area is facing a very, very worse if we compare to the other area, for example, like the European country. But it's really different if we talk about the impact or the devastation which has occurred towards the Indonesia, to the Central of Africa, and also the Southern America in Brazil. Not only in Brazil, actually. So the second one is overpopulation, overexploitation. I'm so sorry. So it's all about like poaching and overfishing, for example. So in fact, more than 90% of large fish population has been wiped out, has been gone or vanished due to the overfishing and poaching, according to the FAQ 2022. So the third one is pollution. Well, have you heard about the microplastic? We will discuss about it. So this is very interesting topic. We will delve into it. So the plastic is one of the most big contributor. So it has killed more than 1,000 of marine mammals and 1 million seabirds annually or each year. For example, like this one. For I know about the Great Barrier or Great Barrier Pacific. So it says that in our ocean, in Pacific, in Pacific area ocean, actually it has collected more than millions of acres. So on the surface of the ocean itself, it has collected it has more than millions of what like pollution or like how can I say that in English? I don't know what water garbage, grid garbage, Pacific pollution. You can search it on the website. It's really widely known, especially among the Western countries. So many people have already realized about the importance or how really pathetic to see what our activity has done towards the ecological system. So the first one is climate change. It's really widely known. So actually, in 100 years, just in 100 years, global temperature has risen by 1.2 degrees Celsius since the pre-industrial level. So, uh, according to the Paris Agreement, actually, uh, if I'm not wrong, many countries have make a agreement that they just want to stop and they just want to postpone the impact of the climate change, especially by the global temperature rise. So in 2050, we want to stop the impact of climate change, just try to stop the maximum rate of the global temperature. But in fact, I don't know. It's really sad to see that just in 2025, the average of the global temperature has risen more than 1 degree Celsius. So it's really evident if you ask or if you compare to the last period when you were a kid. I'm sure that you will know and you can see the differentiation between the temperature or the climate. How can climate change affect to your hometown era when you were a kid, and then when you grow up to the older, and all the things, all the area from your hometown has changed dramatically due to the climate change or due to the high temperature. And the five last is the invasive species. No, this is very, this is very interesting. So I just really want to make concern that not all the species, not all the uh, species can move or can shift to the other ecosystem of areas. So if there are some local or just like native species in particular region of area, they need to stay in there. So you don't need to move them to the other places, or if not, it will make it worse and even it can make the other species vanish or extinct due to this invasive species or due to the our human activities. Okay. So the next one is, can we stop it? And what can we do? And how to tackle and how to protect our remain natural areas, or how to stop, or can we just try to postpone or delay the effect from this climate change? Well, actually, yes, we still have hope, really. So based on what we already we collect from this slideshow. So here are some the solution that we can do from this one. For the first one is DNA conservation. So this is like a de-extinction project, like a woolly mammoth. So here's the one. So many scientists actually they just want to make we they just want to make the mammoth comes to life by extracting the DNA. So they are just collecting from the remains of the DNA or the sample of each mammoth. And probably in the future, maybe we can see and maybe we can see the mammoth come back. But I'm not really sure. And this is this is still a controversial thing because we already know that many species or many species have extinct, has vanished due to the human activities. But instead, if we want to make them come back and bring them to life, I think it's better for us to save the remaining species, not just try to bring back the the species who already extinct before. But this is only about the opinion. Don't take it as in personal. So the second one is the AI powered conservation. So it is like a AI and drones are used to combat poaching. And the third one is the reuse, and recycle. So it's really a simple way for us. Actually, we can do anything that as simple as you try to save your items or your food and many things you can do with these reduce and reuse and recycle. And the fourth is sustainable consumption. Choose eco-friendly products, and the five is support conservation. You may donate to World War to WWF and IUCN or local conservation groups. And then six is raise awareness, educate others, and educate ourselves about the biodiversity laws. And the last one is vote for the pro-environment policies. Okay. Okay, before we start our discussion and delve into our discussion tonight, I just want to make a statement about this one, like this. Uh, can we prevent the sixth mass extinction? So, well, let's move to the part one. What do you understand by mass extinction? Well, before I let the participants, all of my friends, wants to give or to raise their hands, I just want to tell and express my opinion about this one. So, actually, as we already know before, that mass extinction is a phenomena, is a great phenomenon that many or more than 60 or 75% of the flora and fauna has vanished due to the various changes like climate changes or like human activities and also even like another reason. But in short periods. So if you talk about many people or many species have undergone from the extinction. So it is the meaning of the mass extinction. So I just want to say thank you for all of your pay attention. So I like to discuss with all of you on these participants. So we can gather and we may share our discussion towards this topic. Thank you. I'll give to the MC our tonight.
You may handle by yourself, bro. Who wanna speak up for number one for the participants? If they wanna speak up, you may raise your hand and we discuss. So it's not single speaker, yeah. Mr. Ifal will handle this one. For example, who wanna answer number one? Please, you may raise your hand. Now, who wanna speak up? You may raise your hand like this one. Number one, please. Who wanna speak up and you may. Okay, we are just discussing, sharing our opinion. Not seminar or webinar, formal thing. No, we just share our opinion. Miss Sakina, Miss Janice, Miss Norm, Miss Devi, Mr. Tony, if you want to say something, please. Mr. Ival, you may, Mr.
All right. So Mr. Ridwan, okay.
Your screen.
Yeah.
Your screen.
All right. I'm so sorry. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'd really like to share my screen. Yeah. Okay, Mr. Ridwan.
Hello, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ridwan. I'm an
Waalaikumsalam.
acquaintance of Ifal, and he's kind enough to let me join you guys on his study session tonight. I'm just going to make a comment, and I would like to also ask Mr. Ifal's opinion on this mass extinction thing. I mean, it's a good topic to be brought in such discussion group, but sometimes there are things that we can prevent. For example, the Devonian expansion or maybe the Cambrian extinction. I'm not really sure if you put it in your slide, but yeah, some of the extinction can be prevented by human activities, for example, by lowering pollutions and maybe by controlling our basic desire as a human to control and to took everything based on our greed. But I just want everybody to know that despite of those countermeasures that we are currently having and we are currently doing along our life as a human in this world, for example, people start to prevent global warming and people start to go make a sustainable like plantation or maybe sustainable food source. But sometimes bad things happens, guys. A lot of things that we can prevent that for those who are currently a religious people, we know that there are some things that is out of our control, such as disasters and famine and maybe pestilence or plague. But yeah, it would still be a good reason and would still be a good opportunities for us to learn and prevent this mass extinction thing, the sixth one. And maybe each and every one of us have our part to partake in this prevention of our next quote unquote disaster. Thank you, Mr. Rival.
All right. What an opinion from Mr. Ridwan. So I do really agree with your opinion that many phenomena, many mass extinction has occurred out of the human activities. So it is out of our control. But the important or the crucial thing that we need to tackle is, are we facing in the sixth mass extinction? So it's still under the debate actually, but in fact we already face and we already seen the threat of the great detrimental issues from uh, this symbol or this issue. For example, like this, I do remember, Mr. Don, when in 2018, the northern white rhinoceros in North Africa, the male northern rhinoceros in Africa has died at the time. So the remains of the two females of northern rhinoceros, they are still alive until this time, but they don't have the the partner, the male. So it means that it it's just about one of the like a very very detrimental effect due to the human activities. Before, you know, it's really sad actually. I was in high school at the time, so when I read the articles and I see these these this news, I was so sad, and I just like, oh my God, how can I do something to prevent, and how can I try to save the remaining species? But it's not our fault at all, actually, Mr. Ridwan. Maybe I think before our ancestor before, like what our great grandparents did. For example, like the extinction of Javanese tiger and Balinese tiger. It's only about like a sample, like a minor example from how much the species or fate has gone from the human activity. But it's not only about the period of industrial era. Maybe like uh, have you heard about the birds of Moor or like a dodo birds maybe? Yeah, it is like a due to the human activities, but it's just like a make it faster. And I don't know how to uh how to maybe like bring them back. Maybe I'm not capable to talk this one, but I believe that maybe can we bring them back in the future? Maybe just like by extracting their DNA or just try to save the remains fossils from their punished their extinct body. So I just wondering at the time until right now actually, Mr. Ridwan. So I just believe that uh, what things we need to do is how can we try to protect and save the remain species which is still exist in this world. For example, like the remains of Sumatran tigers, and we still can prevent the remains of their natural habitat from the degradation or from the deforestation. But actually, in fact, I'm just like sad to see that. Thank you. Okay. Thank you for Mr. Ridwan. So I just want to anyone else who wants to raise their hand. So this is the discussion topic, guys. Not only about the two opinions or just like for private opinions. So this is a very open discussion. So for each one, for anyone else who wants to say or just want to express your attention, you can then raise your hand and don't be afraid. You will not be judged by the others. So you are in the safe place.
Sorry, Mr. Ivo. As I told you, I have an early morning tomorrow. So thank you for your presentation, and maybe I'll see you next
Oh,
time.
really? Okay, okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Iwan.
You're
Good
welcome.
night.
Good night.
Okay.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi.
Maybe Miss Norma? Oh my God. Yes. Miss Norma. How are you, Miss? It's been a long time no see you. Yeah, you may give your opinion or your expression towards this topic. So I will give you the example for the question. Or do you have any question, or do you just want to share your thoughts and your opinions towards this one?
For me personally, because I have read about bring mammals that have already extinct in this world, but there is no complete evidence for it, and the result is not, yeah, success. So because what we call it, I just related with the ethic rules for scientists. So perhaps it's because against of God. So half of scientists have apa namanya, have counterpart for it and not agree with that idea. So even though there is an action to bring back like mammals or anything that have already extinct, it's just like in a laboratorium, but just 45% successful, not 100%. Just like
Oh,
as I know, yeah,
Right.
because I'm not really into it, this apa namanya, these materials, especially
Yes.
for extinctions or anything like climate change. I do have an idea about climate change, but because I'm not really smart to well, read about the materials, it's just like a slightly moment.
But do you interest in this discussion? Are you interested about this discussion about the Great Six mass extinction?
Yeah, I do, but I'm just a listener.
Yeah, me too. I'm just a long life learner. I'm an
Yeah,
expert.
yeah. Even though I have been reading about this one before I attend this locations, this room, I mean, but I'm not really catch of the materials. I just like slightly read about that.
Okay, I hope it will give you some new perspectives, and it will make you consider about the importance or the emergence of this issue. Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Norman. Okay, any other argument or like a contra argument? This is a very open discussion, so I do really want to anyone express their thought and opinion to answer or just try to comprehend what can we do to prevent or to face this issue. Okay, Mr. Hilmi. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hello,
you may voice your.
hello, Mr. Ival. My name is Hilmi. So maybe I uh I I was coming late at this discussion. So for this question about mass extinction, I mean, I'm I'm interested to discuss about the technology that we use about like artificial intelligence and something like that. Maybe we see that the growth of artificial intelligence is really going so fast. If you look at ChatGPT right now, it can do many things, something like that. I mean, what I fear in the future, and maybe this future where mass extinction happen is caused by the artificial intelligence itself, because our job is replaced by robot, and I think we should depend less on artificial intelligence and start using our own brain. And yeah, because this is what we fear. If we keep using the artificial intelligence, our brain will be dependent on it. That's my take, maybe.
Okay. Thank you for Mr. Himi about your thought and opinion. That is really interesting, and I believe in that AI or artificial intelligence is just like a one of the best ways to prevent and to save our last remaining ecosystem. For example, like we already know that this technology has a great effect towards the ecology. Actually, I have no background from these issues, but as long as I know, the technology and also or we can say that ChatGPT is a very fast, is a very an example to give us how can we or how we are living in this very crucial era. So I do believe and I agree with your opinion. Thank you. Okay, any other thoughts? And if you have an agreed solution or just like try to make an argument, it's really nice to have a discussion here. Mr. Hudori, do you have any some opinion or
Okay,
just
thank you very
want to
much.
express?
Yes, sure. Thanks for the chance given here. How can technology truly prevent extinction? I personally say that yes, in terms of education, with respect to talk about virtual meeting, uh, through pandemic COVID-19, it was truly reading our surrounding areas. Like say the isolated place will not obtain the access of getting the easiest information without pandemic situation. That's why I would argue that pandemic COVID-19 is not only talking about the virus or disease or disaster, but also uh, digitalization. For instance, that if it has no virtual meeting or it has no digitalization, which takes place so far quickly, currently it will not get any access through virtual meeting in terms of accelerating the isolated place. Even it has the challenging through that sector. Why? I currently teach someone who is from Papua, which lives in isolated place. They will not know about what's happening in an education. They just know the conventional or traditional way to get the school because difficult access. Good. Moreover, talking about physical infrastructure, which will be provided by the government. Of course, it needs or it requires a lot of cost for national budget, and also the world is multipolar with a complex issue, I would argue I only take place that education, sorry, what is the statement later here, can prevent the extinction. Because through that digitalization or technology, at least how to how to raise awareness in terms of education, health, policies, and so on. Because the advantages of technology, many people can speak up right now on social media. Many people knows, or many individuals know right now who corrupts who corrupt the gasoline through social media. It can prevent. If it has no social media because of digitalization, of course, uh, I would just say quickly, the privileged people will cover those issues through others. They don't know. I don't know, somehow the policymakers will postpone the law. It's because of the massive netizen on social media. It works. It works. I don't know why, because Indonesia has called it call it the benefit. They have the netizens, so they can criticize the government through social media. Even they have a buzzer in each sectors. But I assume again and again that technology can prevent the extinction, especially on education. What I'm concerned about. Thank you very much.
Wow, what a voice from Mr. Kudori. Well, I will let the other participants who wants to give or raise their hand, so it could be seen that Mr. and so Mr. and
Yeah.
can you
Okay,
hear?
hi.
Mr.
Yeah.
Ifal, shows your PowerPoint or slideshow.
Oh, all right. Wait a minute. I can see your face if I represent my PowerPoint, but that's why I close it. Wait a minute. Okay. All right. Okay, Mr. N
Okay, well,
yeah.
yeah. So, good evening and good night for everyone. To all of you guys, thank you also for Eval, who already presenting about mass extinctions tonight. Such an engaging and information that we got tonight. Well, will be better, I think, to introduce myself. My name is Kim. So you guys can call me Kim. Not Mr., no Miss, no Madam. Just call me Kim. I will be appreciate if you can call me the way I call my name. Well, so I think the focus and the topic that I would like to address here, we talk about the technology. Is that truly able to help us, or is it one of the way to overcome the problem, especially for the mass extinction that happened in our country and also in all over the world? I will say that technology can be one and only to help us to overcome the problem that happened in our country and let's say in global. Instead, we can use technology only as a tool or as an instrument to help people, to help us, to overcome and to protect the nature itself. Because ultimately, human itself will be the one who taking responsibility to taking responsible to protect all the nature. It can be do mining, it can be, taking care the organic environment and so on and so on. That's the first thing first. Even earlier, some of the participants mentions about the artificial intelligence and also some kind of technology. I don't think it will be able to help us if we don't care, if we don't pay attention to the smallest things. I will give you a very clear and very realistic instance that happened in our country. Does our civilization, our people able to differentiate, organic, non-organic, plastic, rubbish, and so on and so on? until now, it's very difficult to differentiate it. That's why that's the first instance. And the second instance is our people also still difficult, to throw out the rabies in the place where it's supposed to be put in. So we talk about the incorporation of technology to help us to overcome, the mass extinction and moreover also habitat destruction. Well, in the big city, probably it works, and especially for the advanced people. But I don't think it happened to the lowest educated people. What I'm saying about the lowest educated people means that they don't understand what they are doing in terms of do they taking care of the environment or not, because we also can, bring the example of our neighbor country. I can address it right away, Singapore. So we really understand that Singapore, one of the cleanest country in Asia and especially in Southeast Asia. Singapore always be the one country, that put it as an instance in global because they're able to take care of their country. It can be their human resources, their natural resources at the same time. They only have a very small area. They only have a very small population, but take a look of them. The quality is there, the quantity is less, but they can reach the top and become the top notch of the country in the nations. What does it mean? Because they know how to use the technology and also they know how to manage their people as well. Because tonight we are talking about, one of the things is habitat destruction and how to taking care of the habitat itself, including the ecosystem. So we really understand that Singapore, they're using technology to recycling, to reduce, and the people also teach to reuse the rabies. So everything can be used, not only one time, not only two times, but even more. So one of the things that they are using is waste to energy plants or turning trash into electricity. So like a couple months or probably a couple years ago, if I'm not mistaken, I jumped to the information that I got from mass media of Singapore. They have a sort of, certain area that use it to recycle their rabies and they put it into energy. I don't think in our country there already exists there sort of. I know I'm not from Jakarta, I'm not from the big city, but I follow a lot of informations that. Oh, I have to stop. Okay, well, I'm sorry.
No,
Oh, 1 minute
okay,
left.
you
Okay, well, I'll try to stop it later. Okay, so well, I mean, what I'm trying to say, we need to educate our people first how to differentiate the rabies. And the second one, we need also to educate our people how to put the rabies in the place where it's supposed to be put in or where it's supposed to be placed. Otherwise, even you have your drone, even you have a very good technology, but if your people still extremely or severely dumb in terms of that I mentioned earlier, all the advanced technology cannot be used. Because take a look at the reality, even our government, they also, let me tell you, like right away, it's extremely fucking dumb to, I mean, not all of them, but the majority of them, I will tell it right away, because that's the fact and also that's the reality. That's why uh we're in the situations of kind of hesitant, because how to achieve the 2045 gold era if our people still left behind in terms of differentiate the trust that I mentioned earlier. Well, this is my opinion, and I didn't say that it's only my argument, but also already put in the news, and also we can take a look at and also trace back from the statistic. Our country is still one of the dirty country in all over the world, and it can be seen very clear and very so obvious, and especially in the big cities and everywhere. That's my argument. Thank you.
wow, what a statement. I have no words to say that. But I strongly believe and agree with you that Singapore is just like a example sense, you know, as we already know that Singapore is a developed country. Oh, wait a minute, I just want to. I can't see the videos of the participants, so I just close the question. So, okay, before I move to the another participant, does anyone want to raise their hand also? Or maybe I just want to try to express my thought about what Miss and has expressed.
I'm Kim. I'm Kim.
Yeah.
As I said,
I'm
I
sorry.
didn't.
So sorry.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
so sorry.
that's
I
fully your
I didn't catch
mistakes.
that.
Yeah.
I didn't catch that. I'm so sorry.
Oh yeah. Well.
Oh my God. But actually, in my opinion, Mr. King, Singapore, for me, Singapore is a model for balancing the urbanization, you know, with also conversation. So, for example, like this, we already know that Singapore has developed some very wide greenery areas, or just like a vertical forest in the downtown of the city. But the most thing what I can say that, wait a minute. Oh, it's just like a smart urban planning for biodiversity conservation. So I have heard about this project from the Singapore government. So they just want to make a big plan for making the Singapore green plan in 2030. So, well, this project, it talks about the sustainability. The national sustainability strategy includes the reforesting, the degrade areas, and also like increasing the green cover and restoring the ecosystem to protect endangered species. But for me, in terms of the size, the Singapore's country itself, just it's really evident that even a small country, they they can prevent their remains natural forest. So I don't really know that when I see in the comments from the people, they they have some opinion that, oh, is it Singapore still has the forest, or just they just think that, oh, the statement or the stereotype of the Singaporeans that they don't have any green areas even. But it's just, for me, it's just really sad that some people, they just tend to believe what they see. They just don't know to delve into, or just they just want to look the information about how can our neighbor country has prevent or has made a very wiseful decision to to prevent their remain forest. For example, like this one, I still remember that when the thing in the downtown of the Singapore, we can see the hornbill. The hornbill. Hornbill in Indonesia is rangkong, burung rangkong. So the government of Singapore, they have a strict law to prevent this flora and fauna. So when the population is increasing, so this endangered species has already grown and has make a very, you know, not comfortable, because we already know that hornbill is an endangered species in Indonesia. But on the other hand, if we go to the Singapore, in some particular place, we can see the endangered birds of species like this one. Why this is happening? Because it is all about the importance or the concern of the government itself and also the community, how to prevent and how to make uh, make a not a small change, but I believe that it is due to the government law or the strict policy. They just make just try to I don't know how to say about it, but in conclusion, I believe that it depends on how the local government to prevent the local or the native species from the extinction. But I just want to say that it's really sad if we compare to Indonesia. So yeah, that's really what I think and what I'm concerned as far as I know. Thank you. Well, any other thought or opinion or for Mr. Hudori or Miss Norma? Are you leading Miss Norma? What about the other? We have some participants here like Miss Vivian, Miss Honey, and Mr. Putra. All right, Mr. Putra, I know you that you are my tutor, my IELTS tutor. So yeah, would you like to give us some your opinions or your thoughts?
Okay, I'm really sorry because yeah, I was being late to come to the discussion, so I don't know about the
No
real question
problem.
is because there is a lot of question in here. So can you guide me maybe what the exact question that I have to give my opinion? So I can choose whatever I want to give the opinion. So it's on me. Is that right? Okay. Uh, let's see. Well, this is quite interesting topic about mass extinction because I've never heard about this before. Yeah, I just have little information about this, so okay, I will try my best giving this opinion. Okay, this. Hmm. Okay, I will try to answer the number three. Indonesia has pledged to achieve net zero emission by 2016, 60. However, recent policies suggest a shift back to coal mining for investment and export. Well, I think the commitment that Indonesia brings right now, I think it contradicts with the Indonesian climate commitments with they have pledged to a signature emission because you know that our politicians, political parties, and whatsoever they love to share out positions and they love to share like um how to make a big government or maybe like a big ministry so they can put maybe their families, their political party, their partners and their colleagues where they have helped in the maybe in the election before. So I think this is diabolical to see it right now. So I don't think that Indonesian government right now like focus on overcoming this problem nowadays. And I have a pessimistic feeling that our governments try to use like I think fossil fuels like coal and then and then anything that can bring negative impacts on the environment. So I would say that it is fully contradict to the commitment that they have brought to the net zero emission by 2060. But I hope we can, as individuals and as citizens, we can also try to reduce the impact, the negative impacts on the environment. Like maybe like everyone said before, like collecting trash or maybe reducing the plastic consumption, and also try to turning trash into the electricity if your city has developed that such a technology. So I would say that it doesn't matter if our government is really reckless about the situation or maybe about the environment, but we can take some measures to maybe to like to overcome or maybe to address this situation, because I think this situation um is really I think it's really I think the situation have to be considered as a serious problem, because our environment needs us to tackle or maybe to prevent the impending like natural disaster, that because our behavior, our politics, our policies, or maybe our like our I think our not right to behave to the environment. So I would say that this is the thing that we have to consider to take maybe our steps together to maybe to preserve the environment better and to make a safer environment for the future generation. Thank you.
Thank you for our best teacher, Mr. Saifullah Huta, for your opinions. Oh my God. Well, actually, I agree in your thoughts that, in fact, how can I say what is on this trip? Indonesia, actually, it still remains the world's largest exporter of thermal coal. Really, just in 2020, in 2023, based what I've read, based what I've read, Indonesia approved over than 30 gigawatts of new coal plants, despite pledging to phase out the coal gradually. So I may say that what our government policy and their commitment, sometimes they are just they're just not to fulfill their commitment. So it's really pathetic to see, and sometimes I'm really I'm speechless. Okay, I like to the other participants, like Mr. Sakina. Okay, Mr. Sakina,
Okay.
could you please to
Miss, I'm not Mr. Okay, thank you for the chance given to me. Yeah, actually, I'm interested to discuss about the second question here about the mass extinction affects human and the environment. As I believe the material when I was in school, my teacher said to us that after the severe disaster, it will start it with plants such as moss, and then life begins there. And I think that in many places in Indonesia, in our country, right now, there have happened many kind of disasters, not only floods. Yeah, there are many kind of disaster, and I think when it happens in our surrounding, it means that there will be a new life begins there. But what I think right now that how if the question number 2 is reversed, like mass extinction is affected, I mean like this, the extinction of human being is affected by the mass extinction of our surrounding. I still remember during the pandemic COVID-19, there is a controversial discussion that this is one of the ways of our government to eliminate most of people in our country using a kind of virus or bacteria, something like that. Yeah, because we have what is that? Mass of human beings in this whole of the world. So the best way to eliminate them is spreading out the virus. I think it's interesting to discuss also because from your slide before we only discuss about the biodiversity loss because of human being activities. How about if we reverse the question? Thank you.
Wow. That's really that's really very interesting. Don't put your hope towards. Okay. We'll let to the other participant who wants to voice their thought. So the next one is Mr. Kim. So yeah, you're the second one.
Excuse me, I'm not Mr. Just address me Kim, I said earlier.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
I can
I think
differentiate.
it's kind of disrespectful if you keep calling me Kim. I mean, Mr. Yeah. Oh wow. Anyway, yeah. I think I would like to give a little response to the participants that give her opinion earlier. Is about, you know, how if, well, hold on. So she says actually the only human that make a trouble towards the environment and especially to the global. I don't think so, but there are a lot of factors actually, you know, that can make damage to our to the earth, to our ecosystem, including also natural disaster. So it's not only human itself that makes, you know, the problem towards the society, especially to the biodiversity itself, but also, you know, the natural disasters that people also cannot predict it, you know, and even also we already have the technology, but we cannot predict it accurately, and also we cannot predict it how to overcome it simultaneously. Well, that's the thing. But you guys, all the participants and also all the members here also can argue my point, but that's the first thing first. And the second one that I would like to address here, actually, I would like to emphasize about the biodiversity. So a lot of mass media that I follow recently talking about the biodiversity is not only in our country, but including also in all the world that the what I say, the using of the biodiversity is actually more and more, especially considering about the population of the people is growing up day by day. So how we actually the ideas, you know, how the ideas of taking care of our biodiversity and how actually the role of the people, especially the human in our country, to understand making the solutions at this point. Because in my opinion that as the creators of the world, of this earth, make the biodiversity itself as the fundamental or as a foundations of life on earth. It can be considered from the water, from the air, from many things actually, and all of them that I mentioned is or are part of biodiversity itself. So no matter how advanced human-made technology becomes, eventually the biodiversity itself cannot be replaced. It happened to me that a couple months ago jumped to the information that I saw from European country. So there is a country in Europe that they cannot plant anything because it's very dry and it's kind of like desert country. If I'm not mistaken, the country itself it's in which is located in southern Spain. If I'm not mistaken, we call it Almeria. So they cannot plant anything, but eventually they come up with the idea that they put, they utilize plastic to cover the land, and eventually they can planting sort of whatever they wanted, especially for the vegetable. But after they are relying for the plastic, eventually, especially like 3 years ago, they realized that the using or the implementations of the plastic itself is turning to be useless because it creating a lot of damage to the people itself, because the people also cannot fully taking care of it. They didn't put a lot of, and I mean 100% attention towards the using of the plastic, because after they're using the plastic itself, they just like put it away and without recycling the plastic. And eventually the people who are living nowadays become the person or become the people who got the impact of it. Well, let's back still to the topic that I mentioned earlier. Just only the instance that I mentioned about one of the country in European that utilize plastic to help them to get something from the environment, because what I say, because of the lack of because the lack of quality of the biodiversity that they got from their country or especially from the land. So there are a lot of things actually that we can strengthen our biodiversity. In our country nowadays, we talk about our coal, our mining, a lot of things actually, including palm, that we can rely on and we can export it to the other countries. But take a look at the result nowadays. Do we think that our biodiversity that we have right now still able to overcome the problem of our next generation? This has become the big problem. And other than that, we also think about the electricity. Indonesia, one of the biggest and the largest countries that we consume a lot of electric, but until now, we don't have the right solution how to get the electricity itself and how to make the amount of quantity for per kilowatt of user able to rely on it. Because people, even as I say earlier, people already find the way. You say, guys, you mentioned about technology, but we can solely 100% rely for the technology itself, because technology also made from the biodiversity. We use it, we produce it to become a new things and make it become a technology and so on, and becoming continuously technology. But eventually, what we got nothing. So that's the thing, the agenda that people talk about, how to utilize biodiversity wisely and how to also educate our people, not only in Indonesia, but we talk in a global perspective, that all the people who must be taking care of our environment. I saw earlier one of the participants show her or his skeptical towards the government. But I don't think only government plays the roles and plays the crucial roles in terms of taking care of our environment. But everyone, all the human, all the creatures in this world must be the one, must be the peon, yeah, must be the pawn to taking care of our environment. Just don't be ignorant person, because when we tempted to become ignorant person, then we keep blaming one each other. It's not my fault. That's evil fault. That's Saifullah fault. That's not my agenda. That's Sakina, because she's the one who are working in the environment, in the government. No. The ideas of, we are talking about biodiversity, we're talking about mass extinction. It's more, and I would like to emphasize, everyone plays the crucial role to manage, to taking care, to control, and how to utilize it properly. And the majority of the people that they ignore the using of electricity, the using of water, the use of a lot of energy, because they think that I don't have to taking care of it. It's not my business. This, and they don't really care about, the using of a lot of the amount of energy. But actually, we have to ask and we have to question our role. I say that, and I'm very bold at it, because don't just be, thinking about people to taking care and to make the policy, and then you follow the policy. The reality and the fact that when the government make the policy, you, me, and all of us become a rebel that will ignore the policy itself. But eventually, we coming again and again blaming the policymaker. Well, at some point, that's totally fine. That's fair enough to blame the policymaker because they don't do what they decided that they do as written in the what I say, in undang-undang, But we have to think about it more and more. That's my opinion. And you guys can argue what I say earlier. And you also can debate me from the data that you get from this paper, statistic, and so on and so on. Let's also make this our discussion tonight more engaging and full of information. Thank you.
Wow, amazing. Well, before I let to the other participant, I just want to argue from your argument, Ms. Kim. So actually, we already know that European has a leader, or Europe presents itself as an environmental leader. But unfortunately, they are exporting massive amounts of plastic waste to the developing countries, That's what I'm concerned was that based what I've known. So if you talk about the European countries, they have become the example for how preventing the natural area, or how can they preserve, or how can they reuse, reduce, or recycle the plastic pollution. But in fact, unfortunately, most or some developed countries in European, they are still shifting their responsibility towards by sending the plastic waste to developing countries. For example, like Indonesia, you may
excuse me, April.
Really?
Excuse me.
Yeah.
I have to interrupt you. Excuse me, April. I have to interrupt you because the things that you are trying to debate to me is not the things that I pointed out earlier. Because what I mentioned, even the European country, I mentioned Almeria, they fail to utilize the plastic itself because they're unable, to rely the biodiversity. That's the thing that I mentioned earlier. It's not they are exporting the plastic to the developing country.
Okay. I just concerned about their action. I do really support their system, how to prevent and how to make their policy, but it's just only about my thoughts. But I don't want to to give or just make a debate, but it's just like from my perspective. Well, thank you so much for the Miss Kim. So I will let the other participants who wants to give or raise their hands also. So here is. Does anyone still want to give their opinion? What's that? Okay, for Mr. Hudori, are we still in our time to discuss on this connect? Okay. Is it until 2030? Okay.
I have a
20
question.
minutes
Can I
left.
raise a question?
Okay, you may.
Well, I do believe
I'm
that you
still-
already make your own. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry, that's my bad. I supposed to raise hand first because that's the rule of this discussion. Excuse me. Well, can I raise a question? It's only a question, if you don't mind.
Of course. Do you want to see the question?
No, it's not from the things that you type or you provided here, but that's my original question. Because I do believe that you already you already do your research towards the topic tonight. We talk about the mass extinction and we also talk about the biodiversity. It's not only talk about specifically from our country, but it's more like general topic that we brought up tonight. So the question is very easy that you can bring a lot of perspective to the question. So the question is, which country do you think it's more damaged and harmful in terms of their biodiversity? What I mean, which country do you think that they cannot rely anymore to their biodiversity because of already lack and the quantity already less? Because eventually they will rely on another country. Actually, American, European, and including also Australian country already rely. I can mention that our country, but I also want to listen from your ideas, not only your ideas, but based on the data that you got, which country do you think that more harmful and less of quantity in terms of biodiversity itself? And what is it the result if they lack of biodiversity and what gonna be happen towards their natural resources and also including with their human resources? Eval, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for your question, Ms. Kim. Well, actually, I'm still a beginner. In fact, I'm not an expert, but I'm just trying to answer your question. So this is a very concerning for me. So based what I know after I've researched and I've collected to the presentation. So if we take a look from the other countries, for example, like Norwegian. So I'm so sorry if I have mistaken from my opinion. That's based what I've read before. The Norwegian, or yes, this Norwegian government, they are already known for their strict environmental policy. I'm so sorry. Does anyone want to? Okay, let me continue. So, like Norwegian, their local government, they actually have a very strict local policy. So their government has invested billions of dollars to invest or to how can I say in English, to protect their rainforest through like the International Climate and Forest Initiative, and they even have banned the deforestation in terms to supply their chain. This is, for example, like I have I've seen that these local governments, they just make sustainability deforestation. So they just try to replant the new trees or the new sustainable trees. So on the other hand, they also to cut down trees wisely, and they are just try to make it as sustainable forestry. But it's really different if we compare to on the other countries, for example, like Indonesia, or maybe like the other one is like a New Zealand, maybe. Yeah, this is a tricky question really for me, but for me that what can I see and what can I get from the other perspective? For example, like this one, our government, we can make this government, the European, this Norwegian government, how can they say their first, oh my God, I forget how to how to explain this one really. So I think I need to learn more, and maybe you can try to explain us about your thoughts, maybe because you are an expert, maybe. Thank you, Miss Kim.
Oh, well, talking about the expert, I'm not the expert at all, and this is also my second time to join to this community. I saw the topic earlier yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, was very engaging. That's why I eventually jumped out and joined to your session, because it's kind of like promising in my opinion. But I think I didn't say I say directly that I disagree with the country that you mentioned earlier. If Norway we consider as one of the top countries that lacking in terms of biodiversity itself, but I don't think probably at some point, yeah, but it's not one of the top countries that lack of biodiversity itself. I already gave it a clue actually earlier. European countries, and especially UK, and also some of the countries, especially Japan, one of the countries that located in Asia. We understand that Japan is very significant in terms of their technology, because they understand that their biodiversity quality is very lax. So that's why they always rely on our country to get the mining, to get the a lot of things that they can gather from our country. So that's why there is agenda from the government that won the election like a couple months ago. So we need to make it, what do they call it? Oh my God, I forgot that. What is it, the term we call it in Bahasa? I mean, we have to make it not only barang baku, so it's not raw material we export it to the other country. Yeah, it's not only raw material, but we need to, what do they call it? Oh my God, I forgot the term. Anyway, yeah. Tapi we have to make it like dijadikan menjadi bahan apa seperti itu. They have to make it more advanced. So I think we need to think about it even further, because me myself also as a young generations, especially Gen Z, I had to emphasize that because I'm very proud of being Gen Z. Even a lot of people look down of us, but I had to be proud for saying that. What I mean that our generation, especially for young generations, really put attention, and especially a lot of attention, how to improve the raw material in terms of the value, and we can export it to the other countries. Let's say the palm or the oil, a lot of countries that really want it, and if we can rely it, and if we can use it, utilize it 100%, and we understand the value, we can increase the value itself. I do believe that our country can achieve the vision of 2045, if I'm not mistaken, to become a golden countries, to become a golden nations. So the 9 of us who are still staying here, I think need to be a peon, to work on it and to make it happen, because all of us, what I say, like on a pipe, transferring the water to everyone is also in line with the agenda of our community to share knowledge and educations freely. So to make our people more educated, not only in terms of the level of education itself, but it's more, we talk about the quality itself. That's the thing that I would like to emphasize. And thank you so much for listening. And thank you so much, you guys, for your argument and everything. And thank you for raising this an amazing and engaging topic tonight. I hope that we can still talking about this because we want to make our country even more bigger and need to be, we don't want other country have to admit us as a big nations. We don't need it, but we ourselves have to be first to admit our country is a big nation. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ms. Kim. I just want to give my additional statement, but really, about talking about the Norwegian, it's really such that their local government actually they have a very strict laws, the government, to ban deforestation linked imports, as you mentioned before, like raw materials. So I guess, yes, it can be an example for the local government, especially for Indonesia. So I hope in the future we will our Indonesian government will change their policy significantly. But I don't know until when we will see the more specific policies that which is they will make a very, very controversial decision in the very near future. Thank you. Okay, we only have just 3 remaining minutes. So before we will end our meeting or discussion tonight, I will let the other participants who wants to give their discussion or who wants to give their opinion. Oh, here is the other things like who respond? Mr. J. Yes, unfortunately, they blended and export crude oil with the highest price to the other countries. Yeah, it's very sad. Okay, Mr. Akudari, I will let your.
You want to conclude earlier?
No, I
want to
don't have
conclude?
any.
You have no idea.
Well, hilirisasi. Yes, hilirisasi is a famous word. But we still have 1 or 2 minutes. Surely, I want to the other participants who wants to give their last thought or expression.
Maybe Miss Ririn or Devi, would you like to say something or give opinion related to the topic discussed, related to the topic today or tonight's discussion? So sorry I couldn't pick up a raise hand because I had to get in terms of okay, in the middle of the meeting, so I couldn't raise my hand. Anyone else want to try to speak up? Anyone else want to try to share their thoughts?
Okay, before we will end our meeting tonight.
No
Nothing?
additional opinion.
I actually
Ival?
would like to raise another question, but I don't think we have enough time for that. Because, yeah,
Okay.
it's very fascinating in my opinion, but I don't think we have time. And people also in this session will complain that who is this fucking girl who keeps talking and shitty things, you know. But yeah, I really like to talk about it, and especially, you know, a very insightful things that, yeah, that's cool. But what I would like to say, you as a host, is that a host or is a presenter? You did an amazing job tonight. Very good. Yeah. You become a new and also another young generations of Indonesians that speak about it even more, but need also to become an actor to do so, how to taking care of our environment, ecosystem, and how to manage it and and also how to utilize the technology itself to make our country and also our nations become a better version. That's amazing. That's cool.
All right, right.
Uh,
Okay, what's the thought-provoking idea actually, Kim? I do how to say, I'm over the moon with what you have heard. It it upholds the new thing in my mind actually, but because I had guessed in the middle of the meeting, I would like to respond your perspective actually, but we have no time again. I hope so
But
much
let me,
that you can
yeah.
come weekly to you can come to the discussion weekly
And
with the
actually,
divergent
I would
topic.
like, that's cool, yeah. But actually, there is something that I would like to address to you. I get a lot of distraction when you keep smiling and laughing. I thought you are laughing at my opinion because I can see on my screen. Unfortunately, you cannot see me. So I was like, what is it that, what happened? Did I say something wrong or am I funny? You know, I was thinking sort of,
Oh, okay.
yeah, yeah. And I have to say that to you.
Okay, my bad, my bad, my bad. Because
No worries.
someone who's coming in my place right now in my office, because I'm still in my office, is the head of department, the head of educational department. That's why I have to keep smiling with him because he is the leader. And
Oh,
right
that's
now,
cool.
what I pursue to accelerate or catalyze to the young generation is I try to offer them with the and to accelerate English proficiency in terms
That's
of the
cool.
youth. That's what I really how to provoke to them. And moreover tonight, because beside my office, it has someone who passed away. So he
Oh, yeah.
comes to this office and just discuss. That's why I was smiling, not because I smile. what what's wrong with you? No.
Okay, well, thank you. Yeah, I understand that now.
Okay, yeah. Thank you very much for your coming. Now, I have no corrections because all of you, the way how you have a clear idea to share the opinion because we are not expert on it, but we try to share our anxiety, our curiosity related to the topic with divergent background. So wait, let me give this one, the certificate to our moderator today. Mr. Eval, let me take a picture with you. Let me point you spotlight. Okay, can you this one? Let me take a picture, Mr. Eval. 1, 2, 3. Wait a second. Okay, sure. Now for others, I will allow you to open your camera. We are going to take a picture together.
I'm so sorry, Mr. Hodari.
Yes,
Would you mind
sure.
if I make some conclusion before
Yes,
my
sure.
statement ends?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
For all this our discussion tonight, I just want to give my conclusion and summarize. So in conclusion, we already know that mass extinction and climate change are real and happening now. And the human activities and like deforestation or pollution and habitat destruction are pushing us towards the sixth mass extinction. So that's our topic or discussion tonight. But on the other hand, some countries like Norwegian are working hard actually. They are working hard to protect their forest and environment. But at the same time, also many industrialized nation or just like developing countries like us, or especially from the other developing countries, they are still fighting and trying how to protect and how to preserve their remains natural forest for preventing the sixth mass extinction. So many things that like technologies gives us hope. For example, like renewable energy or just like reforestation or just like how can I say carbon capture. They can help to slow down. They can help to postpone the impact from the climate change. But the real change will only happen actually if the government or the business businesses, and all the individuals working together. So, in addition, Indonesia actually has promised to reach net zero emissions by 2016. But as we already know, the recent policies, they just allowing the coal mining, and they are just allowing the much more deforestation instead of creating the moratorium policies. So this is very pathetic, and we need to raise our concerns about the weather and the country, how to commit towards the impact of the climate change. So the big question is, I have write it down. So our big question for us is, will we act now to protect the planet, or will we wait until it's too late? So the future is in our hands. Thank you.
Okay, can anyone open your how to say, your video? We are going to take a picture together. Kim, Mr. Saifullah, Ririn, D, Dewi, hello.
No thanks, but I do respect that request. Thank you.
Okay, sure. Dewi, Ririn, D, what about you? Would you mind? No response? Okay, get ready. Even only 3 people are showing the video. Let me take a picture. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Sure. Once more. Wait, let me save it in a minute. Let me share to the group later. Once more. 1, 2, 3, go. Sure. Thank you very much for your coming, everyone. Don't forget when I say OTA community, because we have Yael here. OTA community, you may
Thank you
answer
so much.
yesterday, you say tomorrow. OTA community, yesterday, we say tomorrow. Thank you very much. See you when I see you again for the
Thank
next
you so much.
discussion. See you. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you very much.